All right, so today we are diving into the world of Danish entrepreneurship.
Ooh, excited.
It is exciting stuff.
Yeah?
Big money, bold moves, lots of ambition coming out of Denmark.
Hmm.
We're talking about Denmark's new initiative to really kind of like get themselves on the map in the world of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, you've come to the right place, listeners, because we're going straight to the source here.
Absolutely.
We are dissecting the Danish government's new plan to make Denmark the next big thing in entrepreneurship. And we're pulling this information straight from their official announcement and the full 30-page agreement.
Yeah. No fluff here.
No, we're going deep.
Straight to the source.
The good stuff.
Back in June, the Danish government made this like really big announcement, like this agreement that they kind of like put out there saying they're basically pulling out all the stops to become the global hub for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, what's really interesting about this is that this wasn't some kind of partisan power play.
Right.
We're talking broad support for this agreement across the entire political spectrum in Denmark,
Wow.
which is rare.
In this day and age.
You don't really see that.
Not very often.
So it really seems like all sides of the aisle there looked at this and said, yeah, becoming an entrepreneurial powerhouse is important for Denmark's future.
Absolutely. So they're not mincing words. They're not like trying to be subtle about this.
No, they want to be at the top.
This isn't about climbing a few steps on the ladder. They want to be at the very top.
They want to reach the top. They're thinking Silicon Valley, but with like a Danish twist.
Okay, so how exactly are they planning to become the next Silicon Valley?
Yeah, how are they going to pull this off?
Let's dig into the details.
Let's do it.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, the how.
The how behind it all.
How are they going to do this?
Yeah.
They've laid out this multi-pronged approach in this agreement, tackling everything from taxes to talent.
Right.
But I think the thing that really jumps out is just the scale of investment we're talking about here.
Okay.
We're talking about 2.2 billion kroners that they're going to be pumping into this ecosystem between 2024 and 2026,
Wow.
just right out of the gate.
So like basically saying like we're serious about this.
We're serious. This is not just talk.
Yeah, we're putting our money where our mouth is.
And it doesn't stop there. After 2026, they're committing to 1.2 billion kroner annually.
Wow.
So this sustained funding is really crucial. It sends a strong signal to entrepreneurs, to investors, that Denmark is in it for the long haul.
It's like they're building a skyscraper and they're starting with a really strong foundation.
Yeah, you don't want to skimp on that.
Exactly.
So let's talk about some of the specifics here.
Yeah.
One of the key pillars of this agreement is really about tackling some of those pain points that entrepreneurs face,
Okay.
and especially when it comes to taxes.
Right, because I mean, taxes are the necessary evil of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship, right?
Right.
But Denmark is trying to make it a little bit more love and a little less hate.
Okay.
They're getting rid of the so-called entrepreneur tax.
Ooh, that sounds ominous.
It was not a popular tax.
Sure. I can imagine.
Because basically what this tax did was it taxed unrealized gains on unlisted portfolio shares.
Wait, okay, so you could get taxed on profits that you hadn't even made yet.
Exactly.
That seems a little rough.
It was a huge deterrent. It really stifled innovation, particularly among early-stage investors, because they were like, why am I going to invest in this company
Right.
if I'm going to get taxed on money that I haven't even seen yet?
Right, it just adds like another layer of risks
Exactly.
on top of something that's already risky.
So by eliminating that tax, Denmark is saying, hey, we're open for business. We want you to invest in these startups.
It's like removing a giant warning sign.
Exactly.
So that's huge. What else are they doing on the tax front?
So another big one is they're getting really generous with these R&D tax deductions.
Okay.
So if companies are investing in research and development, they can now deduct even more of their expenses,
Oh, wow.
which is a huge incentive for innovation. Because as we know, developing cutting-edge technologies is not cheap.
It's not cheap, so you need that support, especially in those early stages.
And then, to sweeten the deal even further, they are easing up on employee stock options,
Oh, interesting.
which makes it way more attractive for startups to attract and retain top talent by offering them a piece of the company.
Right, so not only are they making it easier to invest in startups, they're making it easier for startups to attract the best and brightest.
Exactly.
It's like they've thought of everything.
They're trying to.
So smart.
And that's just the tax stuff.
Oh, there's more.
We're just getting started. Remember that 30-page agreement? A good chunk of it is dedicated to really like slaying the bureaucratic dragon.
Music to any entrepreneur's ears,
Yeah.
because bureaucracy is the worst.
The worst.
So what kind of dragon slaying are we talking about here?
So for starters, they're slashing the minimum capital requirement for starting a limited liability company.
Interesting.
which is often a huge hurdle for new businesses to overcome
Okay.
because that can be a significant amount of money that you have to have up front.
Right, you're just getting started.
So this really lowers the barriers to entry for entrepreneurs.
Okay, so lower the barrier to entry, make it easier to get started. What else?
They are making government data way more accessible to businesses.
What kind of data are we talking about here?
So we're talking about things like demographic, data market trends, industry statistics. Basically just a treasure trove of information that can help these businesses make smarter decisions.
To data that's already out there, they're just making it easier to access and utilize.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that can be a huge game changer for these businesses.
Absolutely.
And then if that wasn't enough, they're creating a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs to navigate all those permits and regulations.
Oh, nice.
No more running around to different agencies trying to figure out who to talk to.
Right.
It's all streamlined.
So it's like they're replacing a very complicated maze with like a well-lit path.
Exactly.
I love it.
And it's not just about making it easier, it's about making Denmark a more competitive and attractive environment for businesses to operate in.
Right.
Which brings us to another really key element of this agreement, and that's talent.
Right, because you can have the best ecosystem in the world, but if you don't have the talented people to build those businesses, then what's the point?
It's all for nothing.
So how are they planning to turn Denmark into this like entrepreneurial talent magnet?
Yeah, how are they going to attract the best and the brightest?
So they're throwing a lot of money at this, and they're really like, clearing the path for entrepreneurs to thrive.
Yeah, they're really going for it.
But like, what's the bigger picture here? Why is Denmark going all in on this?
I think it's all about staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
Denmark is a small country,
Right.
but they've always been punching above their weight, especially when it comes to design, quality of life.
Yeah.
But to keep that momentum going, they know they need to be a breeding ground for innovation.
So it's not just about creating the next Lego or the next Maersk.
Exactly. It's about weaving that entrepreneurial spirit into the very fabric of their economy.
Okay, across all industries.
Of course, every single industry.
Now, even with the best laid plans, there are always challenges. What could throw a wrench in all of this?
Well, translating a 30-page document into tangible results is not easy.
Right.
The government really needs to nail the implementation here, making sure that these new regulations are clear, that they're easy to navigate, and that they actually reach the entrepreneurs that they're designed to help.
Because it's one thing to have it written down, but it's another to make it actually happen.
Exactly. And then there's the elephant in the room.
Oh, okay.
Money.
Right.
Government funding is great, but it's not going to be enough to really fuel this entrepreneurial engine long term.
They need that private investment too.
They need to attract those big investors,
Yeah.
both from within Denmark and internationally.
Right. Convince them that this is the place to be.
Exactly. And I think based on the ambition and the scope of this agreement, they're well on their way.
So for our listeners out there who have been, with us on this whole journey, what's the takeaway here? What does this all mean?
I think the big takeaway is that this major investment in entrepreneurship isn't just about changing Denmark's future. It's about creating opportunities.
Yeah.
And if you've ever thought about exploring the Danish market, now might be the time to take a closer look.
It's like they've planted a seed and now they're just waiting to see what grows.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe the next time we do a deep dive on Denmark,
That-
it'll be about your success story.
I love it.
All right, that's it for this deep dive into the world of Danish entrepreneurship.
Until next time.
Until next time.